earlier you heard us talking about San Japan. Well, guess what? We've got someone who was there. Puck attended the event, and he's going to tell us everything we want to know, or at least maybe 2 or 3 minutes worth.
So talk to me a little bit about your experience at San Japan. This is actually the third one they've had here in San Antonio. What did you think of it?
It was fantastic. It was actually the best San Japan of all three of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
What made it that much better?
First off, it was at a new center. It wasn't at San Antonio Municipal Auditorium anymore. We had to walk across the street and all that.
Okay.
It was actually at the San Antonio Marriott River Center.
Nice venue.
So
Very
yeah,
nice.
it was in the Riverwalk. It was fantastic.
Okay.
And great air conditioning in there.
Air conditioning is important in conferences.
Well, in the summertime, it's really important. Well, so did you have a lot of folks coming in from out of town, or was this mostly a San Antonio-centric event?
Oh, actually, the first 2 years, we actually had people just in San Antonio.
Okay.
This year, San Japan was actually advertised this year at AnimeNewsNetwork.com.
Fantastic.
And so we got a lot of people from out of town this time. So San Japan was a huge hit just here in Texas. So which really shows San Japan's here to stay.
Well, so, okay, 2 years, just mostly San Antonio. Third year, all around Texas. Year 4, the whole nation?
It could be the next Akon, to tell you the truth.
That's awesome,
That's
and right
awesome.
here in San Antonio.
Yeah, and I'm a huge fan of Akon, which is in Dallas. But for San Antonio to have its own thriving community of conventions and fans, it's nice to get that kind of attention, that draw. Talk to me a little bit about the people that attend. I hear they show up in costumes. Talk to me a little bit about that mentality and what you see.
I mean, yeah, cosplaying, it's called cosplaying, going up in costumes. Cosplaying is really the funnest thing about going to an anime convention. Like, I cosplayed as Frodo from Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
I can see that.
Yes. I thought I had the perfect body structure for it. So I did Frodo Friday. On Saturday, I did steampunk.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, I did a steampunk.
So you mixed it up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, wait, because if you went on Friday night as Frodo, did everybody recognize you on Saturday, or were you like this brand new person?
No, everybody recognized me.
Well, do you have pictures of your your steampunk outfit and your photo outfit?
I do. My friends from My Anime Club took them. My Anime Club of INH Anime. You can find it at Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's where all our pictures are out of me, and also all my friends who cosplayed, and also who cosplayed, and then also a friend of mine cosplayed.
Okay, cool. So let me ask you this before we cut the segment out. I definitely want to find out from you. What is your favorite anime and why?
My favorite anime is My Hime.
Okay, and why is that?
My Hime is such a good anime. It starts off as a very average anime. You know, it's the second season that really kicks it off, because the second season it just becomes so dramatic. It becomes Sailor Moon meets Highlander.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's two different opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, it's Magical Girl, yes,
yeah.
but it's a Highlander where there can only be one, and it becomes very dramatic, and it's really good. It jerks those tears out of your eyes. It really does.
Yeah, and I have to say, a lot of people discount anime as a form of film. I have to say, I'm a huge fan of anime. I have seen animated movies that are more dramatic, more suspenseful, and I guess because you can do more in the medium than an actual film is. And while most people kind of discount anime as a form of art, I will have to say that a lot of these anime movies, even the ones that tend to go more mainstream, end up bringing some very famous voice actors into the mix. So it's something that I think definitely is gaining momentum. Even though we have films like Avatar and movies like that are big blockbuster hits, there are tons of anime films that are still remain underground, but that are hugely popular amongst I guess the culture that really love that type of movie.
Yes. I mean, anime, there's so much more you can do with anime than you do with a regular film, like you were saying. That, and also, I just think anime, you can carry a lot more emotion through anime than you can in a regular blockbuster film.
Cool.
Well, and then you don't have artists who are, temperamental, because you can draw it away.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's cool.
Exactly.
I think that's neat. The fact that famous voice actors come in to do those roles really kind of lends more credibility to the field, to the industry.
Yeah, and I definitely think that I personally would love to see anime become more mainstream, and I think we're seeing that slowly over time. There's a lot of, especially because the geek culture is becoming so prevalent, a lot of references to anime are becoming very, very prevalent within the mainstream, whether it's on a TV show, whether it's in movies, even in some American-type animation. We're seeing a lot of references and inspiration from that genre. So I'm looking forward to seeing what comes out in the future.
Oh yeah, Miyazaki's already starting to make anime more popular here in America.
Yeah. Yeah, very cool.
Fantastic.
Well, Puck, thank you so much for joining us and talking to us about San Japan. And again, lots of anime conventions, lots of groups here in San Antonio. Make sure you check out our website, tekken20.com, because we will have a clickable link to everything that you've heard about today so that you can make a choice and join the groups.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot. That's awesome.
Okay, so we're going to move on from anime to something that's actually not that far off the mark in comics.
Comics?
San Diego?
Comic-Con. Okay, there's like a whole bunch of, Comic-Con's like the end-all be-all when it comes to this world, right?
Yeah.
It's like, the Taj Mahal, it's like the Mecca. But what you're starting to see nowadays is that a lot of folks are opting to not attend Comic-Con. Big name folks, and so I'm wondering what that means. And then hearing that San Antonio has a thriving community, I wonder if folks are just opting to not travel all that way, and if they're just wanting to kind of have things a little closer to home.
Well, a couple of things I want to definitely point out is I believe it wasn't that long ago in the podcast version of our show, we actually talked about how Comic-Con is actually becoming less Comic-Con and more Movie-Con.
More TV-Con, Movie-Con.
And while they still have their vendors room and they have amazing tables and great people signing autographs, it seems that the big draw for Comic-Con is now the panels and the boards that are actually talking about upcoming films.
Yep.
And I don't know if that needs to lend itself to its own convention, because I remember as a comic purist myself, when Comic-Con was literally just comics, and maybe some cartoons and some animation, but comics really was the heavy hitter.
Well, you're looking at things like Avatar and Alice in Wonderland and Twilight, and you're looking at all those, and that's really what's generating a lot of the buzz and all those long lines and a lot of the attention, even on the trade show floor. So we did talk about this. We said it should be Movie-Con and not Comic-Con, and maybe it's two different segments. I don't think that's going to happen, because even though movies are the large part of the draw, Comic-Con would be crazy to kind of split that off, because it still brings everybody in.
Well, something else I want to mention, too, is that there are publishing houses within the comic industry that have moved into film. We're looking at Marvel and DC. So they're making a lot of superhero movies. Yeah.
Prime examples.
We know that Green Lantern's been greenlit, so to speak. We've seen, casting and some photo stills of the new Thor movie. So we know that we're seeing that kind of progress. I know the Green Hornet movie is scheduled to come out as well. So all that coming,
well, but I mean, how deep are we going to go with that? I mean, there's a lot of characters that didn't make the prime time. Are we going to go so deep that pretty soon we're looking at, Ant-Man or whoever else is out there? So I'm not sure how deep it'll go. And I think there's going to be a point where the movie audiences are tired of all these superheroes. Right now, they're not. It's hot. It's very sexy. You look at Iron Man, you look at Batman, that revitalizing that franchise. So we feel like it's going to continue to go on, but you're starting to see what I consider kind of far-reaching characters. They're kind of reaching for more stories so that they can do more licensing, make more money. And I feel that they're going to reach a point where they're going to reach too far, and it's going to flop.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, on top of just the movie industry itself, there's also going to be a lot of tech and geek people out there actually having their own panels, because they're going to be doing shows from there. I know in the past, people like Leo Laporte and Callie Lewis have actually been out there at Comic-Con. I know fans, I'm a big fan of the Totally Rad show. They're actually going to be out there doing their own show. So there's going to be draws within the podcasting and video casting world that'll be out there doing their own thing. And I think it's interesting because Comic-Con is becoming more of like a media con. It's not just comics. It's becoming more media con. And I'd be interested to see if that's eventually going to change from just being comic-driven related and be more of a media type event.
And I think it will. And probably it's just the natural evolution of anything, and so it should be expected. But I'm just curious to where the wall is, because every event, everything hits a wall, and I'm just curious where that's coming, and I think it's sooner rather than later.
Well, we know in the past we also talked about how Blog World Expo and New Media Expo actually combined, because as individuals they were starting to see a decline in the attendance. But in order to strengthen one another, they combined into one event, one convention, and all of a sudden numbers are bolstered. So maybe it is wise that the movies and the comic industry stick together, but I'm interested if at one point the name's going to change to kind of encompass a lot of what it's becoming.
Or maybe just more of a tagline, add a tagline to it so it's more descriptive of what it is.
Yeah, so if you actually headed out to San Diego for the Comic-Con and you're watching this, I would love to hear feedback. I believe tonight they're going to have all the evening parties and the kickoff stuff, and then tomorrow the Comic-Con actually begins. And you're watching this on Friday, so we're probably going to be into day 2 or day 3 by then. But if you're at Comic-Con, drop us a note. Let us know what you like. Let us know what you think. I know we're going to be watching it very closely because we're huge movie buffs.
Shoot a video, gosh darn it. Post it on our wall on Facebook. We would love to see what you're seeing, because if you've got your feet on the ground, you're seeing stuff that we will never see on the evening news.
Exactly.